Welcome to Mother Cluckers. My name is Debbie, and today I'm going to talk about how the harmony in our flock changed instantly when our two Rhode Island Reds squared off. I recently recorded a video of our two roosters squaring off, and at the time I didn't think much of it. After all, roosters will be roosters. But things escalated quickly. We soon realized that our younger Rhode Island Red rooster was becoming too aggressive with our older Rhode Island Red. We planned to rehome the younger one to restore peace in our flock, but before we could do that, the two fought again. This time our 4-year-old rooster was injured. Now she is hovering in the coop, and we're in the process of separating them until we can find the younger one a new home. This experience made me dive deeper into why roosters behave this way, especially considering that these two got along just fine before. Why do they suddenly turn on each other? What actually happens when roosters fight? How serious can these injuries get? And more importantly, what can we do as chicken keepers to manage rooster aggression? Roosters are hardwired for dominance. In the wild, only the strongest rooster gets to lead the flock, mate with the hens, and defend against predators. Even in a backyard setting where food and safety are guaranteed, that instinct doesn't go away. Roosters will establish a pecking order, and for a while they may coexist peacefully like ours did until something triggers a shift. The trigger could be maturity, or a young rooster reaching sexual maturity will challenge the dominant one. Our younger Rhode Island Red likely hit this stage and decided to test his limits. Adding or removing birds can disrupt the hierarchy. Even a change in the number of hens can trigger conflict. Sometimes springtime or breeding season can make roosters more territorial. If a dominant rooster shows signs of weakness, a younger one may seize the opportunity to take over. For us, it was likely a combination of maturity and dominance testing. What happens when a rooster does square off? At first, it may look like posturing, fluffed feathers, raised hackles, and some sidestepping. But when neither backs down, it escalates into an all-out brawl. They jump at each other, using their sharp spurs to inflict wounds. They grab wattles and combs, shaking and twisting to assert dominance. They strike with their beaks, aiming for the face, neck, or eyes. Feathers fly and blood can start to appear quickly. In some cases, these fights last only a few seconds before one gives up. Other times they fight until exhaustion, severe injury, or even death. Roosters don't just spar, they can cause significant damage. Common injuries include cuts to the comb and wattles, and these bleed a lot but are usually superficial. Eye injuries, which ours had, roosters will aim for the eyes, which can lead to blindness. Broken feathers and bruising, feathers may be ripped out, leaving open wounds. If they twist wrong, they can sprain or break a leg. And there's some deep punctures from the spurs. These are the most serious, as spurs can puncture muscles and organs, leading to infection or internal damage. Our older rooster, now hovering in this coop, likely suffered a combination of these injuries. We're keeping a close eye on her to ensure she recovers. What can you do to manage your roosters? When roosters start fighting, you have a few options. You can intervene early if you see aggressive behavior, separate them before a full-blown fight. Provide space, and because roosters need room to establish territories. A crowded coop can make aggression worse. Increase your hen numbers. If there are too few hens, roosters will compete more fiercely. The general rule is at least 8 to 10 hens per rooster. Use a timeout pen. Separating an aggressive rooster for a few days can sometimes reset behavior. Trim their spurs. If fights are unavoidable, trimming spurs can reduce injuries. And sometimes the only solution is to remove the more aggressive rooster, which is what we're doing now. In our case, rehoming the younger Rhode Island Red is the best choice. We want our older rooster to recover, and we need peace in the flock, so we separated them. In a flock, only one rooster can truly be in charge, and if there's more than one, they will challenge each other to determine who gets control. Even when food, water, and shelter are readily available, their instincts still tell them to fight for leadership. It's not uncommon for two roosters like ours to get along fine when they are young, only for their relationship to change as one matures. Our younger Rhode Island Red likely hit the stage where he felt strong enough to challenge the older rooster, and instead of backing down, he became aggressive. When you have two roosters that are fighting, you need to act quickly to prevent further injury. There are several steps you can take to manage it. If the roosters are fighting, the best way to stop it is to physically separate them. This can be done by using a divider or placing one rooster in a separate enclosure, which we did. Sometimes fights happen once and resolve the issue. Other times they continue until one is removed. Watching for continued aggression is the key. Overcrowding can make roosters more territorial. Giving them plenty of room can reduce the conflicts. When there are too few hens, roosters will compete aggressively for breeding rights. A ratio of at least 8 to 10 hens, as I said before, per rooster helps. This experience for us has been a tough but eye-opening lesson about rooster behavior. Even when roosters seem to get along, things can change suddenly. The instinct to fight for dominance is deeply rooted, and once it starts, it can be difficult to control. For now, our priority is helping our injured rooster heal and keeping the younger one separated until we find him a new home. It's never easy to rehome a bird, but sometimes it's the best choice for the health and safety of the flock. Roosters add personality, protection, and structure to a flock, but they also come with challenges. If you have multiple roosters, always be prepared for the possibility of fights and have a plan in place for managing aggression. Knowing what to do can make all the difference in preventing serious injuries and keeping your flock happy and safe. This hen noticed our rooster was injured. His comb was bleeding, his leg was wounded and bleeding, and she immediately started pecking at him. Chickens are naturally drawn to blood and exposed wounds. Their instinct tells them to peck at anything that stands out, especially the color red. In a flock, an injured bird is often seen as weak, and in the wild, weakness attracts predators. Chickens, being prey animals, have a survival-driven instinct to remove weak members from the group. This behavior, while harsh, helps protect the overall flock by ensuring only the strongest birds remain. Pecking at an injured bird can quickly turn from curiosity to aggression. If left unchecked, the flock may continue pecking until the wounded bird is severely harmed or even killed. This is why it's crucial to separate an injured bird as soon as possible. Applying a wound spray like Blue Coat, which disguises the wound and deters pecking, can also help. Providing a quiet, safe space for the injured bird to heal is essential to preventing further harm. While this behavior may seem cruel, it's simply part of a chicken's instinct. Understanding it allows us to step in, protect our birds, and ensure that injuries don't become fatal within the flock. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.